Hello everyone, it's your Bud. In today's video, we will be talking about Eragon and the possibility of a Netflix reboot. First, for those unaware, Eragon is the name of a young human boy from the Inheritance book series, who's bonded with a dragon named Saphira. After an elf named Arya steals an egg from the evil Galbatorix, played in the movie by John Malkovich, and sends it away using magic to appear before Destined Rider, the young boy Eragon finds the egg when hunting, and after the egg hatches, he's then bound to the newborn dragon, Saphira. And under the tutelage of an older and more gruff dragon rider named Braun, played by Jeremy Irons in the movie, he must travel to seek out the Varden, a resistance against the evil Galbatorix, and learn his destiny. Eragon is the tale of a world of dragon riders, fantasy creatures, wars, heroes, elves, dwarves, and magic, and only the new dragon rider and his partner Saphira can bring it into the new age. An Eragon Netflix reboot would mean seeing the entire story complete for the first time out of the books known as the Inheritance cycle, in the order of Eragon, Eldest, Brisingr, and then Inheritance Book 4. Each focusing on a new dragon and its rider, and tells the tale of the Dragon Riders, a pact between elves and humans to oversee the countries of Allegasia and bring peace to the world, later even bringing humans into their ranks. But when one human lost his dragon partner to a group of Urgles, a race of brutish humanoids, he went mad at both the loss and the fact that he was denied a new dragon by the Order. His actions then turned evil and he took control. Galbatorix manipulated and corrupted 13 dragons and riders to his cause, all of which were then named Forsworn by their former companions, who fled with all the Hearts of Hearts remaining, crystals that contained a dragon's consciousness even after death. These Heart of Hearts and the remaining survivors of the Forsworn attacks formed the Varden and swarmed to avenge their fallen kin and return to their duty of protecting, overseeing, and maintaining the peace and safety of Allegasia. This is the world that the young Eragon and the young dragon Saphira are born into, eventually finding allies in the elf princess and sorceress Arya Shadeslayer, and the human swordsman and dragon rider Braum, from whom Eragon learns the valuable lesson of asking forgiveness, not permission. To have Netflix reboot this would be a perfect fit. While The Witcher is much more dark and gritty, this is a young adult fantasy novel that is not majorly influenced by Game of Thrones, meaning that global conflicts can still be solved with alliances between friends, and basically, friendship can save the world and love is all you need. Nakama, all of that sort of stuff, as opposed to the Game of Thrones sort of style where that sentiment will only get you killed even faster. I think that Eragon and The Witcher would be two halves of the same coin for Netflix, two halves of the fantasy genre. One dark and gritty, and the other adventurous and more family-friendly. The multiple dragons, all of whom talk, would be great to see on screen, and the magic would be awesome to see too. Brisingr, one of the names of the book, is the magic word for fire. In Eragon, the elves know a language, and the language is the true language. When you say fire, it makes fire, or rather it can make fire. In actuality, the word Brisingr is known as the object of fire, not word, object. That is important to keep in mind when you're thinking of spells in the Inheritance series. They are objects of power that can be utilized, and they are a language that the elves brought back from across the sea, including words that can manipulate elements, change people's minds, hearts. You can bless someone, curse someone, or change them, and even words which kill instantly when spoken. The magic language is the true language of existence, and I would love to see it depicted in a show. So as mentioned, Brisingr isn't the word fire, it's the object of fire. And one thing that can demonstrate this magic is that the main character tries to bless a young child child, but when he does, he messes up the word shield for shielded, and thus, instead of the girl being shielded from danger, she becomes a shield to all others' pain, feeling all the pain of everyone else instead of being shielded from it. The two main spells we get to see in the Eragon movie are Brissinger, or fire, and then another that is one of my favorite is known as Skullblackus Ven, enabling the dragon rider to see through the eyes of their dragon, no matter the distance between them. Although this is only shown in the movie, I really enjoy this ability, and I think it can be very useful and also a really cool way to show the viewers the power of the dragons, because we get to see through their eyes. Between the elves of the forest and the dwarves allied with the Varden, there are also many other races and cool beings, but none quite as cool as the dragons themselves. Saphira is a really unique dragon with a caring temperament that can quickly turn to rage should she feel her riders threatened, whether by another or by his own actions. She has no qualm with telling Eragon when he's making a mistake, and she's a good partner for him. In fact, he was the only human who would ever be her partner. Dragon eggs remain as stone for as long as they need until they finally come into contact with their rider, so no matter how long they have to wait, they will still hatch the moment their rider's found, or a few days after, or when their rider finds them. During the Eragon or Inheritance series, Saphira is the only living female dragon, as she had to wait over 100 years to hatch after the evil Galbatorix took over Allegasia. When a dragon and rider are bonded, the rider receives something known as the Gedwe Ignacia, or Argetlum, meaning shining palm or silver hand, and is the mark of all dragon riders. It glows when the rider uses the magic of their dragons through their bond they share. This allows the human or elf rider to actually use the magic of the dragon. The dragon is magic, the human is not, but when they're bound as dragon and rider, they both share that magic. But only with the knowledge of the right magical language. The mark appears the moment the dragon rider touches their dragon for the first time. This could be on the leg or any other place, but usually the first instinct for the rider is to reach out with their hand, and so the mark appears at first contact. That girl that I mentioned Eragon blessed, Saphira helped with the blessing, and that girl has a mark on her forehead where Saphira kissed her or touched her. And when researching for this video, I realized that there's another warrior princess named Arya. I had completely forgotten that the female elf in the Eragon or Inheritance series was named Arya as well. Both Game of Thrones and Eragon have magic-dabbling, swashbuckling, nimble women who could dance circles around most guards or swordsmen, and who both are on journeys of self-discovery that could change the world should they discover the true strength of their determination and drive, and the impact that one single individual can have on the world. Both Aryas could call upon the wilderness either through magic or warging, and both practice their sword skills just as readily. I'd like to know your opinion on what Arya you think is better, Stark or Shadeslayer. Now, I recently watched The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance on Netflix and thought it was very well done. The level of quality they were able to maintain over 10-hour-long episodes was incredible, essentially making a 10-hour-long movie that really surprised me. In this format, I think Eragon would excel. The chapters of Eragon could be split up into similar groupings, and a dozen or so hour-long episodes could allow for much more time spent in the world of Allegasia without having the story drag on or move too quickly. In a movie, there's so much to be fit in, but in the Netflix format, the plot points and story markers could be easily moved around to allow for maximum impact without the usual problems of pacing found in movies. To have Eragon go from farmer to Varden rebellion leader and dragon rider in one movie feels a little rushed, but in 2 or 3 hour-long episodes, you could tell all of book 1. Having 3 episodes apiece per book would allow the entire story to be told in one location with one full cast, and each few episodes would be jam-packed with importance. The best thing about Eragon is its target audience. When Game of Thrones was adapted, there were many angry fans who hated what was cut out, including me, yet Eragon has many moments throughout its story that could be easily told visually without nearly as much time being taken up, and the things that might be skipped would be much less offensive to the Inheritance fans, as much of it is just preteen anxiety or nonsense like that. As long as the characters, races, cultures and events stay the same as long with the dragons and magic system, then I see no reason why a few liberties with the slower parts of the story couldn't be taken to fit this into a mini-series format. I loved Jeremy Irons and John Malkovich in the Eragon movie, but I would not be disappointed with new actors for these roles. Giving someone the opportunity to act in their stead would only make for a richer world, in my opinion, and with 12-hour-long episodes, 3 for each book, we'd have long enough to see these characters and actors enough to connect with them more than the actors and actresses that we have in the movie. I think a Netflix reboot of Eragon would be an instant success. CGI dragons, magic, elf warrior princesses, dragon riders, dwarves with their crystal hulls and gemstones and master forging skills working their metal for the Varden rebelling against Galbatorix, an evil dragon rider who has his own evil empire, a wise mentor Brahm, and a pair of new hopeful youths, Eragon and Saphira, the dragon and rider that must bring an end to the reign of Galbatorix and restore order to Allegatia. I just realized there, 2 youths, huh? So yeah, these 2 youths could be the ones that could save the world. Let me know if you understand that reference below. So, what do you think? Would you love to see this as much as I would? Do you think that it's a reboot worthy of praise? This is a world I can't wait to see get its deserved time in the sun. The books were such a good time when I was younger and had such a big influence on me, and though I would not feel the same if I read them now, I can't pass up the opportunity to think of what all the magic, dragons, and fantasy goodness would be like if it was given the time and effort of something like Netflix had done with The Witcher or Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. I think it could be just as great as something as Game of Thrones, but basically Game of Thrones for young adults. Dragon riders, kingdoms, rebellions, evil places. I think it'd be a kid's version of Game of Thrones pretty much, or a young adult version. Well, thanks for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave this video a like if you want some more like this in the future. A like helps me choose my future content. Subscribe for daily videos. I make at least one video every single day, and leave any questions or suggestions in the comments below, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.